that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension, American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
Free speech in the UK. I'm very proud of our history there.
Yeah, really. You're very proud of locking people up for putting Facebook
Starmer can
posts
say
up.
it.
Yeah, but he talks absolute
That's what I mean. He can say it, but he's locking people up for Facebook posts.
He's lying. He's locking people up for Facebook posts. We'll come on to it later. Mike Ainsworth, the MP, went and appealed his case yesterday, which a lot of people are asking me, how has he got an appeal so quickly? Was there any intervention from the government?
Why is he still drawing his £91,000 salary?
And why has he managed to get an appeal through so quickly, which has now meant that he doesn't go to prison, which means that he doesn't necessarily have to quit his job?
The political clash between Keir Starmer and Donald Trump was nothing less than a spectacle. When the UK Labour chief faced Trump at a press conference, tensions were already intense. Starmer, recognized for his calm and diplomatic style, found himself under pressure as Trump's blunt, direct approach dominated the stage. As Starmer tried to keep his composure, Trump refused to hold back, challenging him on free speech, political tactics, and previous remarks, turning the exchange into a sharp and revealing encounter. Before we dive in, I'd like to ask for a quick favor. If you enjoy our work, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Did you know more than 98% of viewers watch our content without subscribing? By clicking that button, you're not only supporting us, you're motivating us to deliver more high-quality videos for you. It only takes a moment, but it makes a massive impact in helping us grow and bring you even better coverage. Thank you, and now let's begin. Responses to their interaction were deeply divided. Some felt Starmer was being pulled into a political trap, trying too hard to appeal to both sides. On the other hand, Trump's backers argued that Starmer was bending over backwards to appear aligned with Trump while hiding his real opinions. This press event wasn't just another ordinary meeting between two figures. It turned into a pivotal moment in the larger debate over the political path of both nations. The entire spectacle sparked doubts about Starmer's consistency, raising questions on whether he's truly as firm in his leadership goals as he claims. During the event, Starmer went out of his way to praise Winston Churchill, one of Britain's most celebrated leaders. It was a clear effort to link himself with Churchill's legacy of resilience and national pride, especially before Trump, who has often expressed respect for Churchill. But there was a twist. Starmer's praise seemed far too convenient. Only a few years earlier, he had criticized Churchill's colonial record, even urging a more critical view of his history. Now, his sudden shift in tone raised suspicion. Was this an honest change of perspective or simply political calculation? But I believe they're reading it wrong.
But I think they're getting it wrong. The people of this country saw through all of it.
Well, I mean, I think it was a good day for Keir Starmer, actually. I think, it was, in some ways, as you say, Mike, we who know about his actions at home can contrast that with how he was presented abroad. It was politics 101. It was, masterfully done. There went, for instance, when he was talking about, it's great to see the bust of Winston Churchill back. Like you say, I mean, this, of course, is the man who removed the portrait from Margaret Thatcher from his own office.
Well, he removed the one of Churchill as well. I mean, he said he didn't like looking at portraits because he didn't like the way their eyes followed him around the room. I mean, the bloke is a compulsive liar.
This abrupt change did not go unnoticed. Donald Trump, never one to avoid pointing out hypocrisy, likely viewed it as a political tactic rather than a genuine tribute. The optics were far from ideal. It appeared less like a sincere salute to Churchill and more like a desperate attempt to win Trump's favor. For many, it suggested Keir Starmer was willing to bend his principles to fit the moment, leaving people doubting how authentic he truly was. When Starmer sent a letter from King Charles inviting Trump to Britain, it raised several eyebrows. On the surface, it looked like standard diplomatic protocol, part of the usual courtesies shared between world leaders. Yet to others, it seemed like a strategic move, an effort to appeal to Trump's supporters and signal to the wider international audience that the UK was ready to engage with the former president, despite his divisive record.
Oh my God, did you hear that? A letter from the King presented to the President of the United States inviting him round for a second state visit. Was that not the most toe-curlingly embarrassing thing you've ever heard? The tummy tickling that's been going on from a letter from the King. I mean, as a tactic to deploy to get the president on side, it worked, I guess. The flattery worked, but man alive, that was, that was toe-curling.
This wasn't just about protocol. It felt like a calculated step to present Starmer as a statesman, someone ready to engage even with divisive figures like Trump. But did Trump take it as an authentic gesture? Or did he see it for what it likely was, a political tactic? Considering Trump's knack for spotting what he deems insincere actions, he may have viewed the invitation as Starmer attempting to straddle both sides of the political spectrum. Either way, the decision left people doubting Starmer's real motives. When J.D. Vance pressed Starmer on free speech, it quickly became clear Starmer was on unsteady ground. Vance, a firm supporter of open expression, did not hold back. He challenged Starmer on the decline of free speech in the UK, pointing out how laws and policies were increasingly restricting what people could post online. He cited cases where individuals had been arrested for social media comments that wouldn't even be criminal in many other nations. Starmer, however, tried to brush it aside. He insisted Britain still protected free speech, dismissing concerns over online crackdowns. He downplayed the growing censorship problem, but it wasn't convincing. The UK has seen a rise in arrests tied to digital activity, particularly under the contentious Online Safety Bill. While designed to regulate harmful content, the bill has sparked serious fears of suppressing free speech. Comparing the US and UK, the difference is striking. Free expression in America is constitutionally guaranteed, while Britain's laws have grown increasingly restrictive. Starmer's reassurances rang hollow in that comparison. And for someone like Trump, who has often railed against censorship, this only deepened his frustration with Starmer's stance. Another attempt, in his view, to avoid uncomfortable truths.
And when he says he doesn't want to, impinge on American citizens, American companies, that's exactly what he wants to do. The online harms bill says that they will clip the wings of places like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. That's what it says.
But more than that, he's locking up our citizens for innocent comments, for literally just having opinions. I mean, he asserted himself a tiny bit there. Well done. I was talking to a body language expert who said, just look at Trump sitting there, legs apart, power pose.
He's his legs crossed.
Cowering, legs crossed like a lady. Sorry, but like a lady.
Yeah, like a lady.
Yeah. No, like a lady.
Yeah.
I mean, well, let's not go there.
Let's not.
No. Absolutely. It was clear who was in control. And yes, Starmer spoke up. Oh, we have free speech in the UK. What does it mean? It's like going, we had Shakespeare in the UK.
But he only spoke up because he saw Macron do it. And you could tell that he was coached by whoever it is that coaches him to do an interruption, because that's what Macron did. Macron did it with a bit more style, to be fair. Make sure you touch him, because that's what Macron did. Make sure you kind of,
I know, the whole
smile
thing was
all the time.
very staged.
It was just fake, and it was staged, and it was pretty sickening, actually.
It felt fake, staged, and honestly quite sickening. If Keir Starmer had dared to raise the issue of free speech in the UK, Donald Trump's reaction would have been sharp and direct. Known for his outspoken stance against censorship, Trump wouldn't have hesitated to call out what he viewed as dishonesty. He has always been blunt, never one to soften hard truths, and he likely would have underlined the escalating problem of online censorship in Britain. While Starmer might have tried to argue that free expression was alive and well, Trump would have pointed to the growing number of arrests over social media comments, showing the reality was very different. His no-nonsense, unapologetic style would have stood in stark contrast to Starmer's cautious, politically measured tone. Where Starmer tends to step lightly around sensitive issues, Trump would have cut straight through, exposing what he sees as hypocrisy. Starmer's dramatic reversal on Trump himself is also difficult to overlook. Just a few years ago, he openly declared he had no intention of ever inviting Trump to dinner, criticizing his controversial words and actions. Now fast forward to today, and Starmer isn't just welcoming him, but doing so formally, with a letter endorsed by the king. This sudden turnaround has raised serious doubts, with many questioning his consistency and accusing him of hypocrisy.
So this is a letter from His Majesty the King It's an invitation for a second state visit. This is really special. This has never happened before. This is unprecedented. And I think that just symbolises the strength of the relationship between us. So this is a very special letter. I think the last state visit was a tremendous success.
It was.
His Majesty the King wants to make this even better than that. So this is truly historic, an unprecedented second state visit. He wants to talk that through with you.
And that says at Windsor. That's really something.
Yes. What I haven't got yet is your answer. I do need to.
The answer is yes. On behalf of our wonderful First Lady, Melania, and myself, the answer is yes, and we look forward to being there and honoring the King. And
critics say he is working hard to appeal to moderate or even conservative voters, eager to present a more practical image. But this sudden reversal has left many questioning his credibility and leadership. Is it a calculated plan to capture a wider audience, or just political opportunism? Either way, it's difficult to ignore how the move undermines his earlier positions. Donald Trump has never been known to tolerate what he considers dishonesty or political theater. His blunt, often confrontational style cuts through the politeness and rehearsed language of mainstream politicians. When it comes to Starmer, who presents himself as both courteous and calculated, Trump would likely see right through the act. If Trump were to respond, it would be raw and unfiltered, calling out what he sees as Starmer's false politeness and strategic maneuvering. He is notorious for exposing what he believes is hypocrisy, and with Starmer carefully balancing his political moves, Trump would almost certainly seize the moment to spotlight any inconsistency in a very public way. Such a direct challenge wouldn't just put Starmer under pressure. It would also shape how the public views both leaders. It would reinforce Trump's reputation as someone unafraid to confront political figures, no matter their influence. A confrontation between Trump and Starmer could have lasting effects on Starmer's leadership and the future of the Labour Party. His credibility, already weakened by shifting positions, might take serious damage. Voters who see his actions as tactical rather than principled could lose faith, viewing him as a politician who tailors his message to suit the crowd instead of a leader with firm beliefs. In trying to appear cautious and accommodating, Starmer risks alienating both his left-wing supporters and centrists, who value consistency and authenticity.
But a lot of people are going, oh, Starmer's going to be humiliated. They're sort of talking it down as if, now Starmer's had some great, a great day out because he wasn't humiliated. I mean, is that really the level of our Prime Minister now, that he's had a good day because he wasn't made fun of?
Well, maybe that is the level with Keir Starmer. Look, I think that these encounters are fraught with difficulty, and all I'd say is that a cautious thumbs up to the Chagos deal, the fact that Trump didn't criticise them over the EU, the fact that yes, there was that encounter as you're showing on the screen there with JD Vance, but all in all, this was a pretty good day at the office for Keir Starmer. And look, he may change his mind by tomorrow, Donald Trump. There may be other future encounters, but overall, I think that they will be happy with how this visit went, given how important the meeting was and all the high stakes.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that Labour will be happy with it, but unfortunately, they also represent the nation, they represent the people, and I think this is what's wrong with politics in this country, is that politicians think that once they get in and once they get the power, it's all about whether they can stay there and whether they can impress each other and get patted on the back. I mean, the touching that was going on, the sort of the fawning, it was just, incredibly cringeworthy, it seems to me.
Trump's sharp reaction could strengthen the perception that Starmer isn't as consistent as he tries to appear. If Trump openly calls him out on his shifting positions, it could seriously undermine Starmer's attempt to present himself as a reliable leader. Rather than looking like a pragmatic statesman, he might seem like someone willing to trade principles for political advantage. Over time, this could greatly affect the Labour Party's chances in the coming election. If voters begin linking Starmer's leadership with dishonesty or opportunism, Labour may struggle to win public trust, potentially handing the Conservatives an edge. Starmer's dealings with Trump could become a defining test of his leadership. exposing the fragile balance between diplomacy and political calculation. Both leaders will likely adjust their strategies as the situation develops. But in an era where authenticity carries more weight than ever, each move will face close scrutiny. This moment serves as a reminder of how truth often gets buried in the tangled world of modern politics.